of this war are staggering. Trillions of dollars. In fact, this year's budget for just the Iraq and Afghanistan wars under the Obama administration is more than the actual shortfall of all of the state budgets in the entire country combined. We are now a society that finances perpetual war. But the war has come home. It is no longer a war that only affects the families who are directly involved. It's no longer a war that targets only Muslims or people of other countries. It is a war that targets working people in the United States and seeks to divide working people across the country. It targets our unions, our civil liberties, our economic lives, our children's futures, and our dignity. Most of all, it targets our sense of solidarity as it seeks to push us to identify with the needs of the rich. Right now, we stand at a very critical moment in history. But at the same time, in many ways, this is one of the brightest moments in decades. People are fighting back heroically from the Middle East to the Midwest, from students to workers. These same people, many people claimed just a year ago that they would never be in the forefront of struggles for social justice and freedom. But now we have many new friends and many new allies. And the idea that a tiny minority is profiting off of us, profiting off of the war, profiting off of our tax dollars is now a mainstream idea. Just watch late night TV. At the same time, it's also a moment when we have to bring the lessons we have learned from the war to the new situation we confront today. We have learned through Iraq that the U.S. government does not have a humanitarian agenda when it intervenes in other countries. It's not a force for a people's democracy. It does not tell the truth. It is an agenda. It has an agenda for the wealthy, and it will commit whatever treachery is necessary to manipulate the world for its interests. For example, just last week, Secretary of War, some people call it Secretary of Defense, Secretary of War Robert Gates was just in Bahrain. Less than 48 hours later, Saudi troops went into Bahrain using U.S. weapons and helicopters to crush unarmed protesters who want a democracy. This is not an accident. These lessons are actually important now as the U.S. government tries to get us to identify with them as they carry out an intervention in Libya. They get their dictators and monarchs in the Middle East to advocate for intervention and then press the United Nations to pass a resolution to support whatever military action is necessary to control Libya. We can't get disoriented by wishful thinking that the U.S. military can support revolutionary movements in Libya or anywhere else. We have to remember that further U.S. intervention in the Middle East, anywhere, is a threat to democracy and democratic movements everywhere.